So HelloData is an automated market survey platform for multifamily. What we do is we go to well over 100,000 individual property websites across the US every day, surveying updated rent availability and concessions data. And we put all that data into one database such that you can just search a property. We will recommend using AI and some techniques I'll show you your most relevant comps, survey the rents, concessions, and amenities down to the unit level, and then we recommend pricing based on it. So this platform uses 100% publicly available data, which makes it immune to the whole antitrust environment going on in multifamily right now. And it is just generally pretty easy to use. So here I'll show you how that works. So here I'm just typing a property name, and I could do this for any property anywhere in the country. We have about 4 million properties in the database right now. 35 million units that we track nationwide. So when you pull a property up, we'll show you to start average rents, number of stories, units, and year built. And then we'll show lease percent and exposure based on how many units are being marketed on the property website compared to the total unit count of the building. Now, the AI part of HelloData, one of the is a big differentiator. And one of the ways that we use AI is we actually have a computer vision model that analyzes the listing photos and the floor plans for every individual unit and for the property as a whole. And we rank the condition and quality of each room and common area to basically surface comps that are similar, not just in year built and unit count, but that have a similar look and feel, similar condition and quality as well. So that's a pretty unique element to the platform. And you can see all the comps that we've just recommended here. This search process would take a pretty long time if you were going to look at an investment opportunity in a new market where you didn't know the comps. You can spend hours and hours picking your comp set. This does it in seconds, and it does it very accurately. You can see the variables that we use to pick comps here. Now, that being said, we surface 10. They're just a recommendation. If you disagree with the comp, you can easily remove. And if you want to type in another comp, you can easily add whatever you want to it. We'll just tell you that a 20s vintage deal 6 miles away in a dense urban area probably isn't a good comp. And you can see that in the similarity breakdown there. So once you have your comp set, two other things to point out. You can source value add comps because we have that computer vision model analyzing the listing photos. If you want to source your next level up in condition and quality, we can surface those comps for you by just using that model in reverse, looking for properties that are higher in finished quality and kind of show you where you could push rents to. So that's a pretty unique aspect of the platform. And then there are email notifications just to send you updated data on these properties on whatever cadence you choose. Pretty easy to use, but it's better for property managers, I'd say, than the acquisitions teams. Now, once you get into it, the data gets a lot more detailed as you scroll down the page. So here we're looking at rents by unit type, and I can see the full breakdown by dropping these down on the left. I can also globally filter. So say I only want to look at just the 1 beds or just the 2 bed, 2 bath units. It's going to filter everything in the report to reflect that. Now, the thing that's pretty unique about surveying every single day like we do, and you could see updated a day ago, that's going to be the case for every property in our database. One of the things we can do using that approach is we can show the difference between where things are listed right now on the website and where they're closing, that final price on the day they leave the market. And we found that more than 90% of the time, the last price on the day a listing is removed is the exact value that ends up on the rent roll. Right, so that's why we survey every single day. We catch the last price and try to align with what is going to be on that rent roll as accurately as we possibly can. Now, the other thing you may have noticed in this table is that we're tracking net effective rent. So here's another really interesting use of AI. To get concessions, we're probably not going to be able to call 4 million properties across the US, right? Just too much. Even if we had an army of call centers, it wouldn't really be feasible. What we do is we go to the banner on the property website and we use AI to extract from this what is the dollar value of that concession. So every day we're tracking this just like we do the rent and availability. And if a unit leaves the market during the time one of these specials is active, we're going to apply that 1 month free rent discount amortized over the lease term to get you to effective rent. If it says, only applies to one beds, we're going to pick that up. If it says only applies to certain lease terms, we'll pick that up and amortize over that lease term. It's a really sophisticated algorithm that gets to effective rent with over 99% accuracy just from that text on the specials banner. So that level of updates and granularity is something people really like about the platform. And one place where you can really see the impact of this, if you're an acquisitions analyst or you've done development analysis, my background is in acquisitions and development, brokerage as well. Started my career there and then got into the tech side. One thing I really wish I would have had is this estimated unit mix, because what we do here, we look at how many listings have we seen for this particular floor plan out of all the listings we've seen for this building. And taking that fraction, we apply that to the unit count of the building and back into the accurate distribution of units in each individual floor plan. Again, it's all public data. We don't have the rent roll for this. We're not integrated with the property management software. This is all based on what's on property websites. So with this data, we'll show you the lease percent exposure. We estimate renewal rates based on units we saw last year that should reappear this year. If they don't, we know they likely renewed. Time on market, apps and cancellations, because we observe when units leave and re-enter the market, and we can tell, if the application fell through, we assume it's canceled if it reappears. And then finally, the rent and net effective rent. But what's great about this is if you drop it down, you can see here, we're actually recreating rent rolls for these properties using entirely public data, tracking the last date on which each unit appeared, the final price of each. And then if you click into it, we'll actually show the full price trend and data for that individual unit during the time it was on market. When did it enter? When did it become available? When did it actually sign a lease because that unit disappeared from the market? And what was the special that was present resulting in this effective rent on the day it left the market? So again, that level of detail is not just for the property you're looking at, it's for every single property in our database. We have that same level of detail, so anyone can drill down, look at these units and see for a competing property, what are their unit level amenities? What are they advertising for that specific unit? How is the price updated over time? And where did it end up? Because this number on 8/6, this number of 2215, that is more than 90% of the time going to be what they lease that unit for, because they take that listing down when they lease it. So that's the level of granularity in the platform. We do a lot of things with it. We monitor weekly market activities, so units entering and leaving the market each week, so we can show leasing velocity. We take the data and craft pricing recommendations based on it. Just like an appraiser would look at recently sold properties, we look at recently leased units and we track what is most similar to the unit you're trying to price and what was the last rent that we achieved for each. And then we just do a blended average. This is pretty simple. You don't need AI for this part. We just do a blended average of these numbers to get to recommended rent. So this is going to be benchmarked based on what's going on in the market in real time, updating every single day. Now from there, we'll track the fees just to give you a sense of where you sit relative to the market. All the historical concessions that we've seen across all time for all these properties, and you can look at different time frames for analysis and go back further. So if you wanted to see like everything, all the concessions we extract are going to be there. And then finally, we've got the finishes and building and unit level amenities on this tab as well. So if you want to go, add different amenities, you can see them side by side. Now we wrap all this together in our financial analysis tab. Now what this does, we couple financial reporting data from Fannie, Freddie, HUD, CMBS loans, all publicly available, just kind of hard to get and standardize. Now we combine that data with our property and rent data, and we train a model on it to underwrite year one operations. And we get to NOI with just under 10% median error for any property in any market across the US. You just type a property name or address, you're going to have your first year analysis of this deal. And it's a very good way to benchmark how you should perform relative to the market and what that NOI should look like. Great way to screen deals. And of course, from there, you can export to Excel, and we have a full underwriting model, all the data. I mean, we're very big on, showing all the underlying data, like being able to dig in and see like what went into, and it's opening on my other screen here, what went into everything that we show. So we'll show 30-day average trends in this export. We'll show the data analysis tab where you can look over different time frames and see how rents have trended, how time on market has trended for your entire comp set, and quickly slice and dice to look at different unit types. Then we'll show all the raw data across all the different tabs here. So if you want to dig in and do your own analysis, here's every listing across every property. Bunch of different good data here, but at the end of the day, we wrap it all together in a full pro forma model. So you can underwrite your investment opportunities, play around with different assumptions here, hold periods, renovation phasing, and then ultimately get to a full investor waterfall structure here where you can play around with different assumptions and it's all going to flow through. So this is what we do. We capture public data, we tee it up in a really easily accessible way, and the platform has been adopted by, well, great. We've rolled out nationally with Greystar, as well as the largest owner in the country, JP Morgan, EQR. We got some really big names on the platform using this every single day. Because we just make the data very easy and to view, very accessible, and easy to get to the exact answer that you want in many different formats. So yeah, encourage people to check it out. If you want to learn more, go to HelloData.ai. That's our site, and there's a 7-day free trial right on the site. So if you want to check that out, let me know what you think.